So thinking about Ivan paring back his channel for financial reasons has got me thinking about a confession I have to make in my own small sense. And for those of you watching, I'm sure you're tired of this topic, the Ivan Jurek topic, you know. Quite clearly, I've been inspired by Ivan Jurek. This is his idea. I'm just running it through. Yada, yada, yada. That's not very important. But anyway, I had a New Year's resolution. And once a week, I was going to do a yoga video and walk through building your own yoga practice. And I think it's a really, really good idea. And I really want to do it. But they're turning out shitty. They're just turning out really shitty. And like the idea in my head and what I'm making don't match. And I know how to make them match, but it's too time expensive. And I just don't have it right now. And I'm going to quit them. The very same thing I accused everyone else of doing, of giving up their New Year's resolutions a few weeks into January. I'm doing that. And I kind of need to, you know, and here's another realization. I know that if I gut it out for another month or two and just keep making the videos, this will iron itself out, because that's what happened with these videos, you know, and I know that'll work. And it was my plan to just do that. But yoga is pretty important to me. You know, I'm an agnostic leaning towards atheist. So I say this with some hesitance, but it's spiritually important to me, you know? And to poorly represent it and to poorly instruct it is offensive. Like I'm offending myself. So for those of you who are following along, I apologize. I'm going to have to stop. I am going to pick it up again in the future, and I'm going to do it correctly. Maybe in a few months, maybe a Patreon thing. I don't know. I'm not even going to think about that yet. I slept so much last night. I look unbelievably tired. I don't know what it looks like in the future, but I am going to do it. I just want to do it correctly. And in the interim, like today, I'm going to include movement snacks, like little tidbits at the end of videos, not every video, of things I do for movement and mobility that maybe you're not familiar with, that maybe would be refreshing to you, you know? And I stole this idea of movement snacks from somebody, and I don't know who. But all a movement snack is, it's like anywhere from a 2-minute to a 10-minute little mobility drill. And like when you have spare time, you enjoy a snack. You do a little mobility snack. And you can do multiple a day. Typically, I only do 1 or 2 a day. And like, you can get really, really far that way. You're like really far. It's arguably every bit as effective if you did it with a little bit of rigor, a little bit of, you know, discipline, as a daily proper yoga practice. And again, I apologize. As it turns out, I'm not special. I'm not unique. I fail at my New Year's resolutions just like everybody else. And I am going to relaunch this idea in the future. Maybe in as little as 3 months. It's just, I want to do some planning. I want to have a structure in my mind rather than writing it on the cuff. And I want to learn how to video edit better. Right now, I'm not video editing at all. Or if it passes for video editing, I don't know why it would pass. I'm just doing kind of one-shots and lumping them together, which is great for this sort of casual rough and tumble squat thing, but it's lousy yoga instruction. And I'd like to fix that. So, please bear with me. I have half a day off today, weirdly. So, I don't know, what do you want to do? I'm going to squat. I never get tired of that joke. I'm going to do some squats. And I think Kang squats. I want to do some Kang squats. Get up to a heavy single. And do some reps again. I want to get some gnarly reps in the bank. And yeah, that's what's happening. So hey, I love you guys. Stay tuned. And thank you for watching this long. I ranted for like 6 minutes. It's pretty good. So yeah, I was kind of all over the place today. Starting with Kang squats. Then I go to a pretty heavy back squat. I actually, spoiler alert, I actually hit 225 for one. And that was kind of funny because when I did the squat, I was disappointed. I was afraid that I chickened out on the depth. And then I watched the video and I was too deep. Like, just goes to show, like, you know, you can't really trust the body. Or maybe it's just my attitude. I don't know. I'm loving Kang squats. This is nothing new. You know, I feel like one of the things I talk about at the end when I do a little tutorial on joint health. Yep, and this is my Klein twist. I've been doing these super regularly too and not really showing them to you. I'm working on getting that hand that touches the opposing leg all the way on the floor on the other side. And man, it's coming. Like, I'm making pretty meaningful progress, like every other day. I don't do anything heavy on that movement. I think the heaviest I go up to is 30 pounds. Really, it's more of a counterbalance, just to force the body to reorganize, force the body to brace hard, and to really uncompromisingly get into the position, you know? That stretch on its own is not overly difficult for me, but under load, completely active, like every muscle in your body active because it can't help but not be. Yeah, it's challenging. And I highly recommend it. Do it with a book. Do it with a 2.5 pound plate, like a waiter flat on your hand. I do those waiter carries sometimes. I should show you that. It's really scary. And I'm afraid to film it because I'll jinx myself and I'll drop like a 25 pound plate on my head. And that'll be my YouTube video, but that would probably go viral. So I don't know what I'm scared of. Yeah, there you go. See, I'm trying to get that hand flat on the other side of the foot. I'm like half an inch away. This side I think is weirdly better. Yeah, and I'm definitely biasing the hip a little too much. But that's fine tuning. That'll come in time. Yeah, I'm not overly worried about it. The Kang squats are a super good squat warm-up. Like, so this is Kang at 135. I changed the angle because that last angle sucked hard. And it's just too shadowy over there. And I know I need one of those like selfie light camera holders, but I'm a 45-year-old man. I can't buy that. Like, that product's not for me. I don't know how else to say it. And you get a nice shot of my butt here. And 135 feels pretty good on this. I'm able to go slow. I'm able to control it. I'm rounding at the bottom. And I know the glass backs of the world are going to give me grief about that. But like, this is not a challenging weight. This is a mobility exercise / warm-up. Like, I don't think rounding is all that big a deal. We're at 160 and the hoodie comes off. I am plenty warm. I got a good sweat going. And I think I get 3 for 160, which I'm pretty sure is a PR. I think my old is 155, so not much of a PR. But I knew I felt strong today because this moved with supreme confidence. You know, at no point did I feel like I was in any danger. Just completely under control, you know? And that last rep was 2 pitched forward. Other than that, no notes, no complaints on my end. Some of you may disagree, and I welcome it. Please leave your questions, comments, concerns, in the comment section. Now I'm switching to a regular low bar back squat, 185, just a hair over my body weight right now. I think I'm like 190, 192. And I only do 1 rep. And certainly I couldn't do more than 5, 4, 5, 6 maybe. But this just felt really good, really easy. Yeah. And like doing my squats for months to this milk crate, like really helped correct a lot of my form issues, but I am squatting too deep. I mean, that just seems plain to me, you know? 205, I'm watching it for the first time, same as you. I feel like this went pretty well too, but let's see, you know? I rewatched the 225 because I edited it for a short and posted it. I was pretty disappointed with the 225, and then I watched the short, and I was like, God damn it! Like, why was I disappointed with that lift? That lift was like probably the best I've ever squatted 225, and if anything, it was too deep, you know. And here it is, 4 big boys. I was more than a little nervous. I was definitely like engaging in some negative self-talk and trying to get myself fired up for this. And yeah, it went pretty well. I don't know what to say. Like, this squatting everyday business, I have gotten stronger, and I am vastly less intimidated by the bar, you know? So yeah, like, it was a little less deep than the 205, but it was still plenty deep, and it moved fine. I pitched too far forward, but I always do. I'm working on that. That's what the front squats are for, you know? And here I do a 1-arm overhead squat with 65. I think I get 2 reps. I wanted 3, but I was smoked. I filmed a lot of squats, but I also did way more than that. And, you know, I'm not very thorough with the filming. So that snatch is really feeling easy with 65 now. It's no stress whatsoever. I'm going all the way to my flank, touches the opposing thigh. A little asymmetry in the hips is to be expected. Perhaps mine's exaggerated, but you get the idea. Overall, a really, really good day of lifting. Super happy just to have the time to do it. Okay, bonus feature, a little movement snack. So, maybe a week ago, one of my subscribers asked me why I don't use wrist straps and inquired about whether or not my wrists ever hurt. And they don't. I do a lot of weird stuff and my wrists just don't hurt. Maybe that's good genes, or maybe it's something I'm doing, but I got to wondering why. And there's a little movement snack I do pretty regularly when I have any kind of hot spot in my wrists. I'm going to share it with you today. So here we go. It's super basic. It's probably stuff you've seen before. There's only one weird move, but I'm going to show you, and this is right off the cuff. I haven't prepared, so forgive me if I stumble bum a little bit. I'm going to set this up here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get into a plank position, or like a kneeling position if that's too tricky for you. And you've definitely seen this one before. We're opening the wrists this way, you know? Just like a push-up, just like anything, or like planche prep, right? So let me find a good spot, right? Here we are. We plant down, spread our fingers, kind of dig our fingertips into the ground, and all you want to do is rock forward. Simple enough. Feel a good stretch through your forearm, maybe into the elbow pit a little bit. Come back. You want somewhere in the ballpark of 30 seconds, but also you can pulse in and out of positions that are more intense to less intense, staying active throughout this movement, you know, really, really strong. That's why I like seeing the white on my fingertips in the ground as I rock forward, right? So, easy enough. That's not overly sophisticated, right? The next part was where it gets a little tricky. So we got the front of our forearm, we got into our wrists, maybe we felt something interesting, kind of where like a ganglion grows, right? Now we're gonna do the antagonist of that. So, what we're gonna do is take our hand and flip it over, placing the back of our hand on the ground. You can do this one hand at a time if you like. And here's where it gets tricky, right? So go slow. Do not flirt with pain here. Don't worry about your fingertips too much, but try to keep your fingers roughly straight. And then from here, we want to straighten our arms and try to roll our biceps forward. This is going to feel really intense, especially if you haven't done this before. But if you're okay here, try to move your seat back. Go slow, right? You could also go into a plank. You can do other stuff here if you're really, really strong like this. I am not, you know, and this is going to feel really, really alien and really intense. Also 30 seconds. Same rules. You can pulse. You can do whatever you like. I don't go super aggressive with that. So we have, you're going to feel this all sorts of interesting places up your arm. I feel like I can't caution this strongly enough. Don't flirt with pain here. The distance between a good nutritive stretch and catastrophe is paper thin, and I know that from real personal experience. After those two movements, we're going to do a little compression, decompression, right? And I'm going to use my rings, but you can use anything, you know, it doesn't matter. So basically, same idea. We get into a plank, and we just feel our weight on our wrists. If you have other work you like to do, like maybe scapular push-ups or straight up push-ups, go for it. But all I'm really trying to do is get some compression in the joint, in my wrists. The thing about joint pain, and a lot of you probably already know this, is that we don't really have good blood flow to our joints. You know, we have seminal fluid, and that's responsible for the transport of whatever biological matter is helping us build tissue in these places, but it doesn't circulate in a usual way. There's some blood flow, but it's very limited. And so it's up to us to circulate it. It's up to us to add pressure and movement to these areas so that they can get the nutrient necessary to restore, strengthen, rebuild, you know? The fourth movement, see if I can get this right. Move back a little bit. Close enough, yeah? Little decompression. Just a simple hang. That's it. And again, you're looking for somewhere in the ballpark of 30 seconds. You can also do composite work here. If you like scapula pull-ups, if you like lever work, if you like ab work, you can do it while you're doing this, you know? But all we're really trying to do is decompress the wrist. So, what have we really done, right? Well, we've taken the wrist through its end ranges of motion. You know, this way, and then very awkwardly this way, right? And then we've compressed and decompressed to help the seminal fluid move through the joint and allow us to restore, rebuild, recuperate, yada yada. Pick your favorite word, you know? I would recommend as a movement snack doing 2 rounds of that, anywhere from 2 to 5. And especially if you're having wrist pain or you're prone to wrist pain, getting that in every day. I mean, like, you don't have to hang, you don't have to have a set of rings. You could do a push-up position. Jesus, you could just get a barbell or a plate and just do wrist curls and rotations instead of any of that stuff. All that really matters, I like hanging and I like the ring push-up, but all that really matters is that you're getting the seminal fluid moving through the joint after you do the stretch. You know, I think a lot of people have pain and they just assume it's a flexibility / mobility issue. And so they do a series of stretches that they got off YouTube or Instagram or, I don't know, pick your favorite again. And sometimes they get lucky and it works. But other times, they're creating new range that they don't have command over. And this doesn't make you less prone to injury. It makes you more prone to injury. You know? Like now you've created new range that you can get hurt in because you're weak or because restorative nutrients just aren't getting to the afflicted area. A routine like this, I can make no promises to you, but it will help you strengthen end range and it will help your body rebuild. So that's it for today, guys. This is Joe in real life. I love you. Be good to each other. I'm going to try hard to do the same.